the Spanish mainland, the Canary Islands are an archipelago of volcanic islands known for their sandy beaches, year-round warm temperatures, and abundance of natural wonders. The Canary Islands are a tourist paradise with 12 million visitors reaching the Spanish outpost annually. Collectively known in Spain as Islas Canarias, they have been a place of wonder since ancient times. Surprisingly, these Atlantic islands probably owe their name to a man's best friend, dogs, and not the cute yellow birds native to the island. The canary bird was named after the islands, not the other way around. In Latin, Canariae Insulae means island of dogs. According to the great Roman encyclopedist Pliny the Elder, the island of Gran Canaria was named by a Mauritanian king, Juba II, due to the vast multitudes of dogs of very large size living here, although this is a legend. But thankfully today, the native canaries named after the islands far outnumber wild dogs. Now, lying 62 miles or 100 kilometers off the Moroccan coastline, the Canaries comprise 7 major islands and many smaller islands. Most are well-known destinations of their own, including the biggest, which is Tenerife. The other key islands are Fuerteventura, Gran Canaria, Lanzarote, La Palma, La Gomera, and El Hierro, in descending size. All islands are an absolute joy to explore, but what we'll be focusing on is the most popular as we set out to explore the best things to do in Gran Canaria. Gran Canaria. Hola y bienvenido a Gran Canaria. Hello and welcome to Gran Canaria. My name is Michelle. I'm the Intrepid Guide, your guide to language learning for travel, all by using my unique 80-20 method. To find out more about my online language courses, just visit theintrepidguide.com. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click on the bell notification so you get an alert when I post more videos like this one. Now let's go and explore Gran Canaria. Vamos! To start off your trip here to Gran Canaria, I recommend basing yourself in the capital, Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, and go on a guided walking tour of the historical quarter. Las Palmas de Gran Canaria is the capital and historical heart of Gran Canaria. It is the largest city in the Canaries and the 9th largest in Spain, and home to some timeless neighbourhoods. The 2 oldest quarters here are called Vegueta and Triana. Now, the leading landmark in the Vegueta area is the Cathedral of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, aka Cathedral of St. Anna. Now, this magnificent building took 70 years to complete and was opened in 1570. This celebrated cathedral is a fine example of Gothic pointed architecture on the inside and neoclassicism on the outside. This is because it took so long for the cathedral to be built. That's why there are 2 different types of architectural design. And at just €1.50, the star attraction is the terrace and bell tower. From here you get spectacular views over the city and the ocean. Fortunately for tired legs, an elevator gets you close to the top, and you just have to take 54 steps to get to the top of the bell tower. Trust me, it's worth it. Outside the cathedral is the Grand Plaza de Santa Ana. While this beautiful square is lined with Spanish colonial buildings, it's the collection of handsome bronze statues of dogs that make it unique. But they're not connected with Pliny the Elder's recount that there were vast multitudes of dogs that were very large in size that lived here. So how did these canines get here? There are 2 possible theories. The port of Gran Canaria is one of the top 5 most important in Spain, and when it was built in the 19th century, it was even more important for its strategic location in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, when ships from Europe sailed to the British colonies, South Africa, and America. One story is that a French ship going towards South Africa had to do an emergency repair and stopped at the port here in Gran Canaria. The captain is said to have been so happy with the repair work that he left part of the cargo as a thank you or a tip, or maybe to pay less in cash and make up the difference in cargo. The second theory is that one of the wealthy British families here actually gifted the statues to the town hall of the city. In fact, if you go to the Royal Veterinary College in Hatfield, north of London, you'll find the exact same statues. Whatever the reason or story behind the origins of these dog statues, they have become a symbol of the city and even appear in the logo of the local beer called Tropical. Your next stop should be the delightful Casa de Colón. Christopher Columbus reportedly stayed here in 1492 before heading across the Atlantic to the New World. The former home of the island's governors is an architectural gem with lattice balconies and ornate wood carvings centered around 2 tranquil courtyards. Casa de Colón hosts the Columbus House Museum. The diverse exhibits in this well-curated museum offer a fascinating insight into the explorer's life and impact. The collection includes artifacts like hand-drawn maps and journals, and a mock-up of the interior of Santa Maria, Columbus's flagship. Located 10 minutes from the historical centre in the northeastern tip of the island is Mercado del Puerto, an indoor beachside market designed by the same team behind the Eiffel Tower, completed 2 years earlier. This modernist market of wrought iron arches and immense character was built in 1891 on the site of an existing market. Since 1991, the market in a fashionable urban neighbourhood has split its stalls in traditional produce sellers and kitchens serving local delicacies and culinary specialties using the freshest of fresh ingredients. While you're here, head to Piscos and Buches, a name which translates to a little bit of drink and a little bit of food. Their tapas menu is full of fresh seafood and plenty of vegetarian options. With a full belly, head across the road to the beach. Playa de las Canteras is blessed with sunshine almost all year round. This golden beach is dotted with colourful wooden boats and is a popular place for snorkeling. Don't let those dark clouds put you off though. This is what the local Canaries called panza de burro, or donkey belly. No, they're not rain clouds as you might think. In fact, as the trade winds replace hot air with cooler air from higher altitudes, it causes clouds to accumulate in the north of the most mountainous islands of the Canary Islands. The name for the clouds is inspired by the colour of a donkey's belly. These low clouds act as a natural sunscreen and provide a feeling of refreshing warmth. As a general rule, these clouds form in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria and typically occur during the months of August and July. The history of Gran Canaria and the surrounding islands is shaped by their distant location in the Atlantic Ocean and distinctive volcanic landscapes. The island's subtropical climate and fertile soils were ideal for growing valuable crops. The first inhabitants were the Guanche and Canario, who were descended from the Berbers of northern Africa. During its early history, Gran Canaria was visited by Arab traders and European explorers navigating the open oceans, of course following the trade routes. The most famous was Christopher Columbus, whose fleets visited the island before heading west to the Americas for the first time. By the time Columbus visited the islands, they had already fallen under Spanish control. Throughout the 15th century, expeditions from the Spanish mainland conquered the islands. One of the last islands to be conquered, Gran Canaria, fell under Castilian control in 1483. It followed 5 years of bloody conflict that saw many islanders slain by a tiny invading force led by Juan. Arriving with just 30 soldiers, Rellón founded what is now the capital, Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, originally called Real de las Palmas. By 1483, the entirety of the island belonged to the Crown of Castile after the conquistador Pedro de Vera defeated the last pockets of resistance. The following century was only marginally more peaceful for Gran Canaria. As the Atlantic trade routes flourished, so did piracy around the Canary Islands. Now I'm a little bit windswept at the moment, and that's because I'm being hit by the famous trade winds. The same winds that start in Europe, go down the coast of Africa and actually carry the explorers to the Americas, which is how Columbus actually got there. He followed this same powerful wind. Now one of the best things you can do in Gran Canaria is to head to the pretty Puerto de Las Nieves and bathe in the idyllic natural pools. At the northwest tip of Gran Canaria, about 21 miles or 33.5 kilometers from Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, the capital, is the charming fishing village Puerto de Las Nieves. This little village centers around its port and is attached to the sleepy town Agaete. Both places are a world away from the bustling Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. Savvy travelers come here and swim in the stunning natural pools called Agaete Piscina Natural. These inviting pools are formed from volcanic rock and are sheltered from the tides. The waters are crystal clear and you may even find them quiet, although probably not during the height of summer. Fully invigorated after your splash in the waters, you have to head into the town itself, Agaete, a brisk stroll down the whitewashed Paseo Los Poetas, a post-dinner diversion. Dotted along the calm and narrow avenue are bars, restaurants, and the occasional shop. You can catch views of the small and rocky volcanic Agaete beach and the craggy hills that rise over the village. Look out for the diminutive Ermita de las Nieves church. It's small, but it hides a celebrated 16th century triptych of the Flemish Flemish artist Jos van Cleef. Every 4th of August, a copy of the work depicting the Virgin Mother and Jesus makes a public appearance at the annual Fiesta de la Rama, Festival of the Branch. Another draw to Agaete is the striking Dedo de Dio, Finger of God. Sadly, the natural monolith that rose from the sea like an impertinent finger pointing at God was severely damaged during a tropical storm called Delta in 2005. The loss of the entire finger has reduced the totemic landmark to a poignant reminder of nature's power. My top tip when visiting Agaete is to head to the rooftop bar at Occidental Roca Negra. Part of the refined Barceló hotels and resorts chain, this hotel boasts 140 well-appointed rooms, each with a balcony and stunning panoramic ocean views. Facing full west, the magic happens at sunset. The rooftop bar is an idyllic spot to kick off your shoes and drink in the ocean views while sipping on a delicious cocktail. During the weekends, the tempo lifts with live music on the terrace. With just moments from your room, this is easily one of the best bars in Agaete. To book your stay, I've shared all the details in the description below this video. Just outside Agaete is a fascinating archaeological site set in a striking volcanic valley. Maipés de Agaete holds the remains of ancient Canarians. This necropolis dates back some 1,300 years. Its landscape is not simply a lava flow caused by a volcanic eruption some 3,000 years ago, but is a sea of petrified rock with more than 700 tombs. Constructed from volcanic rocks, some tombs rise 10 feet or 3 meters and stretch 26 feet or 8 meters in diameter. They are an arresting sight in an area of stark beauty. Maipés or Maipé is a Canary word derived from the term Malpé, meaning badland, referring to a barren and inhospitable volcanic lava field or stony field. The original inhabitants of Gran Canaria were descendants of the Berbers of North Africa. The first settlers likely arrived in Gran Canaria around 500 BC, and the tombs are a reminder of life before the conquistadors arrived. Each tomb contains the remains of an islander placed in a stone coffin shaped to their dimensions. Coloured stones were then placed on the conical structures, although these no longer remain. While the Berbers in North Africa had multiple female partners, these indigenous Canarians lived in a polyandric society where women had more than one male partner. Not only did this create a more collaborative society, it is believed that this was a preventative measure to control the number of children born each year, so as not to put strain on the community and cause famine if there was little or no rain that year, and therefore less food produced. What's also interesting is that in some tombs there are more than one individual, either being placed together at the same time or after a certain period. Neither gender nor age was a factor, with everyone receiving the same type of burial. The burial mounds are spread over 240 acres or 1 square kilometre. Discreetly placed walkways and informative multilingual signage provide context as you walk around the barren landscape carved from volcanic eruptions. Behind me are 2 volcanic lava bombs. Now this one here is a little bit smaller and this one is huge. Now what this means is that when there was the volcanic eruption, these actually solidified in the air. So now you have these massive balls of volcanic rock. Really cool. A truly unique and spectacular thing to do in Gran Canaria is to head into the Central Highlands to the quaint village of Tejeda, discovering the natural wonders along the way. South of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, the capital, and Agaete, rises the Central Massif of Gran Canaria. The highlands are home to the highest point on the island, and this vast swathe of natural beauty is a designated UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. The place to aim for is Tejeda, a small picturesque village famed for its almond plantations, and is a popular waypoint en route to the landmark Roque Nublo. Translated, it's called Rock in the Clouds, and it is believed to be an ancient site of worship and is a breathtaking natural feature. The 220-foot tall volcanic rock is found 5,948 feet above sea level, the highest point in Gran Canaria. Surrounded by pine forests and gaping ravines, this panoramic spectacle is best reached by car. Hikers can also reach Roque Nublo in just over 3 hours from Tejeda town. Tejeda was first settled in the 3rd century AD and has been a breadbasket for Canarians ever since. Tejeda's most cherished crop is almonds, which feature in the sweets and desserts the area is renowned for. When you come here, make sure you indulge in a local dessert called bien me sabe, which literally translates to "it tastes good to me." This is a Moorish confection of honey, egg, yolk and almonds, and it is served with ice cream. But that's not all. Tejeda is also a place to sink your teeth into artisanal Canarian cheeses and a local favourite papas arrugada, aka wrinkled potatoes. Treat yourself to sunsets and cocktails at the laid-back Perchel Beach Club, where I'm standing now. Now, if you've had your fill of sandy beaches and crave clean waters, shade and unsalted cocktails, the Perchel Beach Club is a worthy detour. This unsung jewel on the southern end of Gran Canaria is just 10 miles or 16 kilometers from the Maspalomas Dunes. It's a stylish and idyllic escape from crowded beaches with 2 restaurants and an emphasis on simply just chilling out. The centerpiece is an infinity pool that empties into the Atlantic. There is also a splash park for kids and spacious cocoons for small and large groups. Add unspoiled horizon views across the Atlantic and a killer sushi bar to the mix, and this is one of the most easygoing things that you can do in Gran Canaria that just speaks for itself. The sushi menu keeps things simple with a small selection of super fresh maki rolls, nigiri and tempura. Sometimes an afterthought in the Canaries, but several options are suitable for vegetarians. There's an extensive selection of potent and inventive cocktails that you can drink as the sun goes down. When it's time to recharge your batteries after your island escapades, the classy Perchel Club delivers in spades. Swap volcanic landscapes for desertscapes at the sensational Maspalomas Dunes, where I'm standing now. No, we're not in the Sahara Desert, but we are at the same latitude. Now, having headed across the northern part of the island, we've cut through the central massif to arrive at the southern coast to discover one of the best things to do in Gran Canaria. The Dunes de Maspalomas is a stark contrast to the rugged volcanic landscapes of the north. Looking like a lost corner of the Sahara, the immense dunes spread over 400 hectares. Bounded on one side by the pristine waters of the Atlantic Ocean, we're standing on a marine shelf that formed during the Ice Age. The tides and winds have shaped the fine golden sands into a bewitching landscape. Sometimes reaching 32 feet or 10 meters in height, the dunes are no longer an open playground. As one of the leading things to do in Gran Canaria, steps have been taken to protect this delicate ecosystem. Designated paths let you explore without destabilizing the dunes. As you might hope for an area awash with golden sands, the beaches at the southern tip of Gran Canaria are next level. They underline why this side of the island is more popular with beach-going tourists. The standout beach is Playa de Maspalomas, backed by dunes and renowned for glorious sunsets that draw crowds in the evenings. You can also view the towering Maspalomas Lighthouse, which has guided seafarers since the 1890s. The Maspalomas Dunes are no secret, but to miss them would be to miss one of the best things to do and see in Gran Canaria. Both banana and sugarcane plants come from Asia, but were introduced here in Gran Canaria via the Spanish some 500 years ago. In fact, the same banana and sugarcane plants travelled across the Atlantic to set up the first crops in the Caribbean. Bananas are grown all over Gran Canaria, but there is a higher concentration of them in the north of the island, thanks to the higher amount of rainfall and moisture in the air. Now, this moisture or water is needed because each plant requires between 20 and 40 litres of water a day. Located in the north of the island is a little town called Arucas, and here you'll find La ReKompensa banana plantation, which translates to the reward. There are 400 banana trees here, and this has been a plantation ever since the 1800s. There are 400 types of bananas in the world, but you'll find 2 of them produced here. During your visit here, you can take a tour and find out how the bananas grow, and it's also a beautiful spot to get married or have a special celebration. Complete your your island tour by sampling Canaria's favourite tipple at the celebrated Arehucas Rum Distillery. Pirates and sea traders have called in at the Canaries for centuries, so it's little surprise that the Canarian islands have a soft spot for rum. To help you learn more about this famous liqueur, you have to head closer to Las Palmas and stop by the distillery Arehucas, one of the finest rum distilleries in the Canaries. While located in the town of Arucas, this distillery gets its name from the original indigenous name of the area, Arehucas. Originally a sugarcane factory, it now produces liqueur exclusively because there was more profits to be made. With 4,308 barrels on site, there are 1.2 million litres of rum held in American oak barrels, many of which are signed by famous celebrities who have visited the distillery through the years. And at the end of the tour, of course, you have to sample some of their produce. So I'm trying the banana cream. Ooh, it's my favourite flavour, so here goes. Oh yeah, if you like Baileys, then you'll love this. Oh, it's so smooth, it's brilliant. The distillery dominates Arucas, another impossibly pretty town of cobbled streets and immaculately preserved buildings. The soaring church of San Juan Bautista and the photogenic colourful facades of the houses in Arucas are appealing reasons to explore the town. Behind me is the stunning Basilica St. John the Baptist, which was constructed using bluestone from Arucas from one of the volcanic eruptions here in Gran Canaria. This bluestone is also very characteristic and is used throughout the island. Located just outside the town of Telde is Bodega Señor de Cabrera, a vineyard/family experience. The name translates to Land of Lord Cabrera. Agustin Cabrera bought this property 10 years ago, and after brainstorming with a group of his friends, they suggested that he grow oranges, grapes, and coffee beans. After seeing the potential in this small crop, a local wine seller offered to come and help develop this vineyard, which is now part of the official wine route in Gran Canaria. Come here for an exclusive, private, and intimate experience, either as a couple or in a group, and be treated like family as they take you around the vineyard to try their produce and also have a wonderful meal. Take your time as you wander around the property, which produces 4,000 to 5,000 kilos of oranges and 6,000 to 7,000 kilos of grapes per year, which is about 400 bottles. Spanish is a variant of Standard Spanish spoken in the Canary Islanders and by Canary Islanders. The variant is very similar to the Andalusian Spanish variety spoken in Western Andalusia, and especially to the Caribbean Spanish and other Hispanic American Spanish vernaculars because of the Canarian immigration to the Caribbean and Hispanic America over the years. Canarian Spanish is one of those Spanish dialects in Spain to be called usually Español instead of Castellano. Canarian Spanish heavily influenced the development of Caribbean Spanish and other Latin American Spanish vernaculars because Hispanic America and the Spanish-speaking Caribbean islands were originally largely settled by colonists from the Canary Islands and Andalusia. Those dialects, including the standard language, were already quite close to Canarian and Andalusian speech. During my time here in Gran Canaria, the locals have been very warm and welcoming, and many speak English quite well. With that being said, I still highly encourage you to learn a few key words and phrases in Spanish to be polite and show your respect when visiting the island. I asked my friend and local tour guide, who's absolutely amazing, Guillermo, to provide some of these phrases so you get the correct pronunciation.
We say hola, hola. We say buenos días, buenos días. Good afternoon would be buenas tardes, buenas tardes. Good evening, buenas noches, buenas noches. Good night is the same. Good night is buenas noches, buenas noches. Perdona, perdona. Disculpa, disculpa. How are you? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Estoy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Sí. Sí. No. No.
No?
No.
Is in your English no?
No, it's true, it's true. In Spanish is no. 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 Please, por favor, por favor. Gracias, gracias. Or here in the Canary Island, gracias, gracias. Thank you very much will be muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. You're welcome is de nada, de nada. ¿Hablas inglés? ¿Hablas inglés? Hablo un poquito de español. Hablo un poquito de español. No entiendo. No entiendo. ¿Puedes repetir despacio, por favor? ¿Puedes repetir despacio, por favor? Podría tomar, me gustaría tomar, podría tomar, me gustaría tomar. La cuenta, por favor. La cuenta, por favor. ¿Dónde está el baño, por favor? ¿Dónde está el baño, por favor? ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto vale? ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto vale? Goodbyes. Adiós. Adiós. Buen viaje. Buen viaje.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No, come to the Canary Islands. Come to Gran Canaria.
During my time here in Gran Canaria, I've stayed in several beautiful hotels and I can't wait to share with you all the details. I'll give you a few glimpses into each of the rooms, the different facilities they have. Many of them have pools, incredible meals, and they're ideal for exploring different parts of the island as opposed to basing yourself in maybe one town or the capital. I highly recommend you move around the island and stay in a local hotel. So for all these details, I've shared them in the links below this video and also in my more in-depth travel guides. More details are shared in those guides than I can share here in this video. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below this video. So there we have it, a guide to some of the best things to do, see and experience in Gran Canaria. Which one of these did you enjoy the most? Do you have any questions? Let me know in the comments below. And for more details about any of the tours and experiences I've shared with you here today, I've shared all the details in the description below this video. And to brush up on your Spanish before you visit, I invite you to join my online 2-week video course, which will fast track your basic understanding of Spanish so you can travel with confidence and converse with the locals. Join now and learn anytime, anywhere. Oh, how about these trade winds, right? In the meantime, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel and turn on those notifications so you get an alert when I post more videos like this one. Until next time, thanks for watching and have a wonderful trip here to Gran Canaria. Ciao!